Secular Yakking, Episode 79. No highway option. Warning, this episode contains some explicit language and talk of the existence of certain fictional characters.
Liberty cannot be sacrificed for the sake of temperance, for the sake of morality, or for the sake of anything. It is of more value than everything. Yet some people would destroy the sun to prevent the growth of weeds. Liberty sustains the same relation to all the virtues that the sun does to life. Robert Greene Ingersoll.
Inconceivable!
Will you please act like you have more than a two-word vocabulary?
Is there air? You don't know!
Hey, don't touch that dial. You found Secular Yakking.
I'm Robert.
And I'm Amy.
After years,
No, many years of yakking at each other.
we're here to yak at you.
So sit back and enjoy the yakking.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Hope you had a wonderful week.
Yes, and as usual, it's a quick one.
It is always a quick one.
Yeah, at least for us it is.
Yeah. Anything interesting happen this week?
We got snow,
We did get snow.
which doesn't happen down in the low, Pacific area by the beach
Well,
type thing.
yeah. Well, we're not exactly by
Well,
the
no,
beach
we're
here.
not close to the beach. We're, like 20 minutes away, but that's not the point. But it's too tropical here. I find it annoying. I like, my winter season,
Speaking of winter season, did you go anywhere this weekend?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. That was, 2 nights ago?
Yeah.
It's a long time ago.
Yeah, we went to the winter solstice potluck with the Humus of Washington. Had a good time hanging out with a bunch of people.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, that's always good fun. We'll be back again next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, we made
Braving the traffic,
Oh, the
mind you.
traffic
Oh,
was
my
such a
gosh.
mess.
That was horrible.
well,
Seattle traffic sucks major.
especially when they closed one of the main bridges.
Yeah, that too. But, I'm not a fan of traffic or large population like Seattle.
Well, it's where we live, so yeah,
Yeah, well, that's why we live out in the farther area, because I don't want to deal with that.
I know.
Anyways,
On with the show.
that would be great.
We do have some more Twitter followers.
Time for butchering the name.
Not this time.
Oh, please.
We have Moderately Informed,
That was easy enough.
Info Graffitis,
So far, so good.
Neil Analytics, Time Free Profits, Rick and Paul, Rusted Raccoon, Brian Hazard, How Is This Movie, Tetro, Cat, and Campaign Trail 2016.
Ah, you got an easier list
I did
today.
get an easy list this week.
Yes. No butchering. It's
Yes.
shocking. All right. Excellent on the Twitter list.
Okay. And if people wanted to follow us on Twitter, where would they go?
Oh, God, don't tell me again. It's that simple secular yakking thing, right?
Yeah, close enough.
That's it.
That's it. No iTunes reviews, no comments.
No, I meant as far as the name, where
Yeah.
to go. It's just,
Yeah.
okay.
I like it simple. We're
No,
easy
I
to
know. I
find.
get it. It makes sense, but
I mean, I could have called it something really outrageous, but no, that would be silly.
I was going to say I could think of a few choice titles, but I won't.
Anyways,
News.
news. Evangelical pastor in Texas tells kids Santa isn't real.
Okay. Now, with this, when you say tells, does he, pick out children?
No, he went to the mall.
Oh, he does it at a mall in a large setting.
Yeah, Pastor David Grisham, a preacher from the Last Frontier
Trippin'.
Evangelism in Alaska, filmed himself shouting at youngsters at an Amarillo Mall on Sunday.
He filmed himself doing this?
Oh, yeah. The preacher, who featured a clip of Santa being shot by firing squad on his radio show, films himself at the mall saying, "I want to tell you today that there are no such thing as Santa Claus." Sorry. Santa Claus does not exist. And I have some very interesting audio.
Oh,
of
okay.
that, so,
I'll listen first then.
yeah.
Folks, my name is Pastor David. Kids, I wanted to tell you today that there is no such thing as Santa Claus. Santa Claus does not exist. The Christmas season is about Jesus. Jesus was born 2,016 years ago. He was born in a manger in a small town called Bethlehem. And that's the truth about Christmas.
I like Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, We get it a second time.
Yeah, that's a minor mistake on my part.
Because I just love to hear that over and over again.
Yeah. So I actually have a second part of that I want to do in a minute. But let's talk about this part first. So he's talking about how there is no Jesus, there is no Santa.
I'm gonna go with both, but okay.
Yeah, and telling them that it's a lie, but you should believe in Jesus,
which I see is pretty much the same damn thing. But as a parent who my children were once little, and when they were little, we used to do the Santa thing, but we always did the commercial Santa thing. So whether you're a religious Santa thing or you're a commercial Santa thing, as a parent, I would have been really pissed off because you have a bunch of kids standing in line for Santa, regardless of what their religious beliefs are. They're here to see Santa, and you have an adult and sort of an authority figure type adult who is out here yelling that there's no such thing as Santa when it's an adult saying there's no such thing as Santa. Kids see that in their view so much different.
And you're right about it being an authority figure, because he says, I'm Pastor David Grisham, right?
Right.
That means he's a religious authority, and they've been taught to believe the religious authorities.
Right.
So this poses a huge issue.
Well, I'm also
parents.
thinking those kids are standing in line that are secular and not into, going to church and religious like our kids were. They didn't go do the church thing.
Right.
But just by saying a position / adult, it doesn't matter what he said. He could have said, I'm a police officer, so-and-so. It doesn't matter. They just hear they have a position, they're an adult, and that's all they see, Yeah. And to hear from an adult's point of view that there's no such thing as Santa, as a mom, I would have been really pissed off because, don't go ruin it for my kid.
Yeah.
But
and there were a couple dads that got in there. I'm going to play the rest of the audio.
Oh, okay. So I'm ruining it.
Well, no, it's fine.
It is not your place to lie to your children. Tell them the truth about Jesus Christ. Tell them the truth about what Christmas is all about. That it's about Jesus and it's not about Santa Claus. There is no Santa Claus. There is no Santa Claus. It's about Jesus. Tell them the truth.
Go. Yes, we do tell them the truth. Now go on.
So.
That was interesting.
Yeah, we do tell them the truth.
I caught that.
So it's very interesting. I always had issues with telling the kids about Santa. It was always a little iffy for me, but I did it because it was a popular thing to do and blah, 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 right?
Yeah, I don't think we ever had a circumstance where we had to actually say, if they questioned him and then we lied to them about that, they found out fairly early in our house.
Yeah, they did.
Because if they questioned it, we kind of said, well, our oldest found out first, and then she was pretty good about letting her sisters find out on her own.
Yeah.
But I liked how he was like trying to push him, a little at a time, push him away and try to get him to shut up without telling him to shut up.
After about 3.5, 4 minutes of that, he finally does walk away.
Oh, it still keeps going.
Yeah, it keeps going, but I don't have time.
No, God, no. I don't want to listen to that. But tell them the truth. I love that.
Yeah. Well, and that's the problem. It raises a lot of issues for these parents now. They've got this guy who's coming in telling them that Jesus Christ is true and Santa is a lie. These parents are telling these kids that Santa is true.
Right.
And so, okay, where does the truth and the lie stand?
Well, exactly. And that's how I've always, especially, this time of year, the whole Santa and Jesus thing and God or whatever, the whole thing is just, how can you say this one is, but this one's not? And yet they both watch you when you're sleeping and know when you're good and bad, blah, blah, blah. So where do you draw the line? Where do you say they're both real or neither one's real, or, kind of hypocritical to say one is and one's not?
Well, yeah, I agree with that.
But yeah, which was why we haven't done the Christmas thing in a very long time in this house.
That is true.
Because it's just stupid, but that's just us.
Yeah, that's how we are.
Hi, this is Trav Mamone, host of the By Any Means podcast. Join me every week as I interview bloggers, podcasters, writers, and activists about the intersections of atheism, humanism, racial justice, feminism, LGBTQ rights, and other social issues. You can subscribe to the podcast through iTunes, Spreaker, and Stitcher, and you can read my blog at freethoughtblogs.com/byanymeans. And remember, that's bi spelled B-I. Come take a listen to the musings of a queer humanist because, hey, aren't we all a little bi-curious?
All right, moving on.
Okay.
Is the cross actually Christian?
I see it as the letter T, but that's just me.
Okay, then you're okay with this. The AHA is currently in a legal battle regarding a cross in Bladensburg, Maryland. The 40-foot tall cross is a centerpiece of a World War I memorial to soldiers that died in that conflict.
Uh-huh.
It has been named the Peace Cross, and the AHA contends that it gives the impression that only Christians are being honored. It's the only symbol. It's a ginormous cross.
Well, and when I say I see it as the letter T, that's because of who I am and I'm an atheist, I'm not a religious person, but when you take a religious person, organization, or what have you, and they put up the letter T, it's not the letter T.
Right.
I don't care what they say.
Well, the court disagrees with you.
Well, that's bullcrap.
Sort of. In a previous decision from a lower court, they stated that the cross in this instance is a secular symbol and that the cross at issue does not have the effect of endorsing Christianity.
Bullshit. Oh, can I do that?
That's fine. The AHA suggests that even removing the arms of the cross would be sufficient to satisfy the First Amendment because it would make it not a cross.
Uh-huh.
Right? And I agree.
Right.
If this is truly a secular symbol, why would
they shouldn't have issue with it?
They shouldn't have issue with removing the arms.
Right.
Because it's not a peace cross.
If this is supposed to be a symbol of peace and blah, 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 what's wrong with the peace sign? That literally says peace. You don't have to question, does it mean this? Does it mean that? It's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, if that's, what you want, a peace sign or anything.
The issue at hand is that there is a plaque that on there. Now, this is in the median of a road.
Okay.
So it's on public property.
Right.
And you can't it's kind of hard to just walk up to. Most people just drive by it.
Uh-huh.
And there's a plaque on there that says that it's a peace cross.
So unless you're standing in front of it,
Right.
you don't see that.
The AHA contends that most people drive by it, and it seems as though it's a Christian symbol.
Which is the overall goal of doing without doing.
If you look at the lawsuit, it contends that it was put in under Christian pretenses with Christian prayers and stuff like this. Every time they have a big deal,
of course,
there it has Christian prayers.
Of course.
So it is obviously a Christian symbol. It is absolutely dishonest to say that the Latin cross is not a Christian symbol.
Right. If they are true in what they say, that it is only supposed to be a sign of peace, they should be more than willing to go ahead and put up either, like you said, take the arms down or do an entirely different symbol in overall, that's a totally slippery slope in my opinion. That's just like, come on, really?
Well, it's the same thing I fight when I fight In God We Trust. They call it a secular phrase.
Oh, I know.
But we know it's not a secular phrase.
Uh-huh. Especially, I love when you see they, at one time, it's a religious thing when they're discussing about that with the original motto. And then at the other time, it's like, no, it's not. It's not a religious thing. But they can still take that fight and totally throw the religious aspect of it and stand behind it as religious. But in another content, there's like, no, that's not what it is.
No, they just...
It's the cherry picking scenario.
Yeah.
Use it for the situation you need it in.
Right. Which really frustrates me because it makes it that much harder to fight.
I
love calling people out on that hypocrisy, though.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, if you follow the Twitter, you'll see that I do that a lot.
Yeah, you go in your little rant sometimes.
Yeah, I'm good at calling out people's hypocrisy, and they hate me for it.
Yeah, especially when you throw facts at them. They really don't like that.
Facts. I've been told that facts are the new censorship.
Because why would we want the truth, especially in today's society?
Yeah.
There's no need for that.
All right. Something new?
All right.
Fighting the Grinches?
Okay. The Grinch.
Yeah. Each of the FFRF, Freedom from Religion Foundation, places winter solstice banners and other free thought holiday displays, like our Bill of Rights nativity scene or the Atheist A in Daily Plaza.
I almost lost that whole thing there.
In governmental public forums, where religious groups place devotional displays. Each year, at least one of these displays is vandalized or stolen.
Oh, yeah, we can attest to that.
like last year with
when
my
ours
Festivus pole.
Yep, we went all the way down there, too.
I know, twice.
Yeah, that really ticked me off.
Or like this year in Boca Raton, Florida, where the banner put up alongside a nativity scene didn't even make it 24 hours before someone spray painted over the quote.
Oh, well, ours just got stolen entirely in less than 24 hours.
Yeah. Well, parts of it.
Most of it.
The important parts. Replacing and repairing these displays can get expensive, so the FFRS is asking for your help. They have started a campaign called the Resurection Pledge, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
According to the FFRF's website, FFRF is asking you to help protect our free thought displays throughout the country. Make a pledge to FFRF's Resurection Pledge. Pledge Drive. You will only be asked to fulfill your pledge each time one of FFRF's displays are stolen or destroyed.
That was almost hard for you to get out. That's a lot of letters.
Yeah. Your support not only helps us promote non-theism and state-church separation, but helps deter vandalism. Thanks to the Resurection Pledge campaign, FFRF was able to counteract vandalism and theft of 3 of our displays in 2015. If any of our displays are vandalized or stolen this season, each time the FFRF will use your donation to ensure that our message gets out to even more people.
That's good. But yeah, I don't get what their deal is. I mean, you put something up, it's just there to look at. You don't have to do anything with it. You don't have to do anything for it. But yet they have an issue of just visually seeing it.
Well, this relates almost back to...
It reminds me of the billboards.
Yeah, it's the same thing as the billboards. They didn't like the billboards.
They don't want to see it.
Right.
They don't want to know it exists.
Right. So that relates back to our previous story about the cross. They won't allow an actual secular symbol on that because that would be dishonoring the fallen soldiers. Never mind that some of those might have actually been atheists.
Or the fact that they fought for everyone to have rights to do what religion or non-religion that they choose. They love to forget that one.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. They can't allow equal access to everyone. They have to have sole access to everything.
Yeah, it's all their way, no highway option, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's absolutely hypocritical because they sit there and spout that they want it to be an all-inclusive country, but they're lying out their ass. They don't.
No, they don't. They want just their inclusion and their particular brand of inclusion because, they're not talking about the Mormons joining them either.
Nope.
Yeah.
Not Mormons, not Muslims. No.
Yeah.
Not secular, nothing.
Anyway, I'll put links to that in the show notes so you can follow that there.
See how that goes, yeah. And the helping. And I like that it's only when it gets destroyed.
Right.
It doesn't have to be something that you have
to... It's not an ongoing thing.
Right, yeah.
So, and it'll help, and the idea is that it'll help keep things from getting destroyed because they know they're going to get replaced.
Right.
And FFR is going to make more money.
I was really surprised last year. Ours is on the Capitol grounds out front, and it's, next to the other ones. And ours was stolen within the first 24 hours because we got a call like the next day after we just drove 2.5 hours down there. And we had to go right back to get it. And it amazes me that in a area like that, I mean, the Capitol area is a very busy, and it was stolen. It's like, how the heck did that happen?
Yeah.
But they do.
Yep, it happens. All right, next story.
Okie dokie.
We're going back to Jurassic Park.
Okay.
Lida Zing hunts for fossils in the amber markets of Myanmar. In 2015, he made a remarkable find. Trapped in what looked like golden glass was a feathered tail of a dinosaur.
Oh, the amber finding.
Yeah. Along with the primitive plumage, the 99 million year old amber also preserved soft tissue and 8 complete vertebrae. The tailbones indicated that the specimen belonged to a dinosaur that was not a prehistoric bird, and also provided researchers with insight to the evolution of feathers.
Which is pretty much what we were...
What they've been saying for a few
decades. Yeah, they pretty much were figuring all along, so... In your face.
Yeah. Dr. Zing said this. This is the first time that skeletal material from a dinosaur has been found in amber. Dr. Zing is a paleontologist at China University of Geosciences in Beijing.
Huh. I love how amber preserves shit.
I know.
I gotta stop saying that.
I'm assuming we're just going to have to start going explicit.
No,
yeah,
we don't.
We can.
No, we don't. But it is really cool how amber preserves that stuff. I mean, just like mentally like that. And the whole creationist must be having a field day with this, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure yet. I haven't seen AIG Ken Ham yet.
Well, I was going to say, it's going to come out.
It probably will today. According to the report, this specimen provides an opportunity to document pristine feathers in direct association with putative juvenile coeliosaur. I think that's right.
Okay, we'll see.
Coeliosauria is a clade containing all theropod dinosaurs more closely related to birds than carnosaurs. So these are kind of like the small raptor,
right?
Like velociraptors and things of that nature.
Right.
I don't know if velociraptors belong in there, but that's the kind of shape.
Oh, okay.
The small, skinny, long,
almost bird-like shapes. Yeah.
So, and that's what they're talking about.
Right.
And they have for years thought that things like the raptors would have pre feathers, and that's what these really are.
Right.
And it gives them
the next step in the evolution.
Yeah. So we now know what the feathers used to look like.
Right. And I guarantee you the religious side is just going to figure out some way to deny this for some reason, or it's fake, or I don't know.
Someone stuck it inside this amber.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's how it works.
Yeah, because we only have the, crocoduck?
Yeah.
I think is what it is.
Crocoduck.
Has In God We Trust invaded your town? Are you tired of government officials who want to plaster In God We Trust on taxpayer-owned property? Are you afraid because your local sheriff placed an In God We Trust decal on the patrol cars? We are here to help. The original motto project is for those who feel the separation of church and state is an important issue and should be honored regardless of your belief or lack thereof. Theists, non-theists, and all free thinkers are welcome. We need your support to show politicians that diversity exists within our nation, and their promotion of a monotheistic religion and push for theocracy will not be tolerated. Stand up and be heard. Join us at originalmotto.us.
Another one?
I think so.
Okay. I call this one Get Thee Behind Me, Satan.
Okay.
Last week, conservative pastors gathered on Capitol Hill where they were joined by dozens of members of Congress for a congressional clergy town hall.
Wait a minute. Shouldn't that not go together?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Not just me.
Organized by Wall Builders and the Jefferson Gathering, Wall Builders is a right-wing organization run by GOP operative and pseudo-historian David Barton, while the Jefferson Gathering is a prayer organization started by anti-LGBT religious right preacher Jim Garlow and overseen by Pastor Dan Cumming. That is responsible for the annual Washington A Man of Prayer event that takes place in Capitol Statutory Hall.
That whole thing just doesn't sound like it all belongs together in the same paragraph.
No, anytime you get Capitol Hill and any of those other words in that
paragraph,
you have a problem.
What part of separation of church and state did they not get?
I don't know. None of it. Because their pseudo-historian David Barton doesn't believe it exists because it's not written directly in the Constitution. And he has all the original documents, he says. Not that he understands them, but he has them. I've been told that he has the authority because he has the documents. Like, did he read them?
Oh, but it gives him the authority of it.
Yeah. Dave Kistler of the North Carolina Pastors Network revealed that the U.S. Senate chaplain Barry Black preached to participants and reportedly prophesied a revival is about to sweep America, and it will, quote, it will commence in the halls of Congress.
I'm telling you, this country is just going bananas.
Yeah. And Dale Walker of Tennessee Pastors Network concurred. He said, if God rules in the halls of legislation, it's the pulpit's benefit of being there, being on site and standing up and speaking the law of God to our elected leaders and praying for them. It's been the absence of the pulpits is the reason why Satan has ruled the halls of legislation.
Well, I have to say, I hate bringing the conversation to Trumpville again because I'm so sick of it.
I created a new law
that
overrides Godwin's law. Or is it Goodwin's law? Godwin's law. So Godwin's law is that any online conversation will eventually lead to someone being called Hitler. right? Roughly.
In this case, Trump.
Right. And the new law is that it is presupposed that all conversations will turn into a conversation about Donald Trump. It is now a premise. It's no longer will eventually. No, it starts with Donald Trump's part of it. So go ahead.
I know. I'm so tired of it, but yet that's so true at the same time. I mean, I swear, I think the guy has to be working really hard to be doing the crap he's doing. You don't just simply do this much stupid.
Right.
He has to actually work at it. I swear he does.
Yeah.
But, you know, and bringing it back to this story, what makes me nervous thinking about that is all the positions he's putting in right now. I mean, we're going to see more of this kind of crap in, you know, the Capitol and in our laws and stuff.
You want to hear something scary?
Everything's
it's the way
scary.
Kistler described what happened in the Senate chambers. So he had access to Senate chambers.
Right there.
Right there. That's bad enough. And he says this: we got on our knees, and it sounded like almost like
Try honey again.
And it sounded almost like a labor room as people were crying out to God, and the revival of Chaplain Black believes is coming, and that we believe is coming. I think I got that.
I'm not so sure at this point.
So basically, these people were calling out to God. These are our elected officials, which are supposed to represent everyone.
Which it ain't.
And they're acting like it's a freaking tent revival.
That's what I was thinking. I was picturing a tent revival in my head while you were reading that. Because that's what a tent revival's like.
I can just imagine these senators in their chairs, you know, swaying back and forth and fainting and, you know, because that's what it sounds like. Arms
up in the air, kind of like rolling your eyes.
Someone gets up, dances around and flails.
I mean, this is... It's like I was saying earlier today. I swear, I think I'm stuck in a movie / cartoon or something like that, and I can't get out of it. It's like some kind of joke that I'm not aware of going on that they're building up to, and I'm like, when will I wake up and get out? Because that's what this whole
it feels like
thing lately feels like. This whole weird election crap.
So you were watching Idiocracy yesterday, or part of it.
I caught the tail of it, and our kids were watching it. But yeah,
and I'm still reminded that was not supposed to be a documentary.
Yet voila.
Yeah, I know.
I've been saying that for a couple years now. It's like freaky how more and more of that movie is coming to par. You know.
Yeah.
But. Yeah, I'm just waiting for, you know, whatever movie or joke we're stuck in to reach its end.
Yeah,
because
someone compared this to the new Truman Show.
Seeing how we react.
Yeah,
to
it's kind of weird.
It's like live and happening, and you're like, okay, where's the cameras? Because you know you're stuck in some kind of what was that show that they used to do? And, you know, they would have hidden cameras, Candid Camera kind of stuff.
That's the name of the show.
Yeah, or
Candid
Punk'd.
Camera. Or Punk'd, yeah. Candid Camera's the one I like. Punk'd, I don't like the name.
Yeah,
Punk'd,
I never watched Punk, but yeah. But that's what it feels like, because it's too off the wall to be real, I guess, for me, is what it seems like. And crap like this, you know, in our government chambers being done, it's like, nah, there's no way.
I know.
But anyways.
Absolutely crazy.
I am an old man, and most people hate me, but I don't like them either, so that makes it all even.
You know, that never gets old for me.
I know.
I don't know why I like that.
I don't know. It's just the way it's put together.
Yeah.
Lionel Barrymore.
Yeah, and he just like, I don't care.
Yeah. And speaking of not caring.
Like a lot going on right now.
This week we had to go back to our very own Washington State for our Potter Award.
Yeah, they're doing pretty good lately.
Yeah. And that will go to state legislator David Taylor, who represents the 15th district, which is down by Yakima.
Oh, okay. That's where that is.
Yeah. As you may know, I follow local politics pretty closely, so it makes sense that I am watching the pre-filed bills for the upcoming legislative session.
Right.
Well, Taylor put in some real doozies this year.
Yeah, kind of loco, but
yeah.
Sure.
Let's start with the silliest one, and by all accounts, the least dangerous.
Uh-huh.
That is House Joint Memorial 4000, a proposal for splitting Washington in two and renaming the eastern half of the state of Liberty.
Okay, I find this actually very comical.
That's why
if you're gonna split the damn state to make two separate states, could you come up with a better name than Liberty?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, anybody who follows our Facebook page or our Twitter feed will know that I named it Northwest Mississippi.
which I find appropriate, by the way.
That's why
But come on, liberty. I mean, God, something better would have been better. But the stuff he's proposing is just like so out there.
Yeah, by the way, this proposal was filed in 2015, 2005, 1991, 1985, and 1915.
Oh, they've been trying since back then, huh?
So this is really DOA. It's grandstanding for votes is all it really is.
But what I find comical is that technically the east side of Washington would be majorly hurting if they didn't have the west side.
Yeah.
Because of the taxes that they absorb on the east side from the taxes collected from the population on the west side.
Yeah, I did a little research on this. I actually went to the Office of Financial Management and got some numbers.
Facts. There those are again.
Most of the eastern counties receive more tax benefit than they give the state.
That is correct.
There's one that doesn't. I forgot the name of it, but it's down. It's not the one Spokane is in.
Uh-huh.
So,
yeah, I saw that the east, some of the counties get more benefits from it than the counties here in the west side do.
Let's take the two extremes. So
Okay.
you got Ferry County on the east side and King County on the west side.
Right.
Ferry County gets $3 for every dollar it puts in for taxes.
Okay.
King County gets 64 cents for every dollar it puts in taxes.
Right.
Think about that disparity right there.
Right. And that's what I mean by if, they get a lot of benefits that they're not really getting, or not getting, wrong word,
Not
that they're
paying
not
for.
understanding.
Right.
Meaning, if they break away as a separate state, they're going to be hurting major.
Right. They have, so the eastern part of Washington State is really agricultural. They don't have a
Right.
lot of manufacturing. They don't have a lot of industry. It is basically,
It's like Idaho.
it's like Kansas.
It's like Montana.
Yeah.
As far as the space.
Yeah,
and
it's just a
population.
bunch of big open space with a couple small cities
here and there, right.
And they just don't have the tax base to support a whole state.
Right.
And that's another reason why I called them Northwest Mississippi, because Mississippi takes in some of the highest tax dollars while providing some of the least amount of tax revenue.
Which is exactly what they would do in that part of the state.
They would just be another drain on the federal system.
Right. And it kind of surprises me, I guess I want to say, but maybe not, that they don't look into this information before they lay out this proposal, because it's pretty stupid not to do your research first.
Well, I mean, we are talking about the Mr. Potter Award.
Okay, fine. Good point.
And we're not done with his pre-filed bills yet.
Okay.
He also filed a bill that would remove the requirement that high school graduates pass the end-of-course exam for science, specifically biology, physics, chemistry, and environmental science.
So he wants them
to not have to pass a test to graduate high school for the science portion.
Just the science, though?
That was another one of my issues.
I get the whole, kids are not their test, because kids are all different. They learn and absorb things differently. Doesn't mean they didn't get the information because they can't pass a test. But to pick only science, that's ridiculous.
Well, I read the bill and I wanted to make sure it was only science, and it literally takes out everything that has to do with science in the qualifications.
So this boils more down to keeping the ignorance in for people to stay more controllable.
Right. So his Taylor asserts that 13,000 students are at risk of not graduating because of these requirements. And like you said, what about math and English? They're required to take tests in math and English.
Right. That's where I was going.
So I find it really interesting that he's only concentrating on
my point was, if he's doing this because not all kids are equal. Some they learn well, but when it comes to a test, they crap out. But yet they know the information. They just don't do well on tests, because we can attest to that for, our kids. And I've known many kids, they know the stuff, but when it comes to a test, it doesn't measure what they've learned. And if that's what he was going for, I would totally agree with this. But the fact that he only took it off the table for science means he's most definitely is not going for that reasoning.
Right.
He's just going for the dumbing down, not educating them in science.
Well, he also misses a big point. The 13,000 students, I question that number because I tried to do some research on that. The closest I found was 7,000 kids at risk of not graduating over the next 3 years because of a specific test.
Oh, uh-huh.
Not all tests.
Right.
So the bill the The code as it's currently written now allows for you to take alternative tests. You don't have to take this specific
Oh,
test.
okay.
You can take this other science test, or you could take this test. Or
Right.
There's a few choices.
Right.
Right?
That's
He
good.
is saying take out all testing for science.
Well, I like the idea that they give them optional.
Right.
So that, because of the whole, not every kid is the same. I'm like a stickler on that. Not every kid learns the same,
I agree.
But that's not his intent at all. He just wants to.
Yeah.
It's that dumbing down controlling factor, I think.
And by far the worst bill this session would be one that's modeled off of HB2 from North Carolina. Do you remember HB2 from North Carolina? The bathroom bill?
I was going to say, is that the bathroom one? Because
Yeah.
that was the most famous from out of there.
Yeah. That was from last year. And this one's...
Oh, he wants to bring that back?
He wants to... Yeah.
That whole bill, I mean.
Yeah. House Bill 1011 is an amendment to the current statute that prevents gender discrimination, a.k.a. Washington's Civil Rights Code.
Uh-huh.
Currently, transgendered individuals are protected and can use facilities they identify with.
Right.
So, the amendment, however, would remove those protections and allow private companies to gender segregate bathrooms, locker rooms, etc. by genitalia alone.
Okay, that last part, by genitalia alone, I'm like freaking out about. What is their plan for that? How do they plan on going about figuring that out? I guess is the way I can say it.
Well, one of my friends suggested that maybe they'll have to hire someone to check shorts.
Bullshit.
So I
Oops,
said,
I did it again.
I'm telling you, we're just gonna have to go explicit. Screw it.
Sorry.
But what my response to that was, so it's a jobs bill.
But I don't care. Checking shorts or whatever you're
Who's
wearing.
gonna check?
But that's my point. I don't care if I walk into a woman's bathroom and there's a woman, I guess bathroom guard is what you would call them, and she has to... Okay, wait a minute. I just caught myself in something. You can check a guy shorts-wise. Girls, not so much.
Yeah,
the only way you can check is by losing clothing.
Oh, or by grabbing.
Oh, hell no.
So this is a Trump bill.
Oh, hell no. I don't think so.
They'll just have Trump wannabes walking up and grabbing.
Even before I caught myself figuring that other part out, I was going with, you have this bathroom monitor who's supposed to be looking at you, even if it's the same sex, like a woman in the bathroom checking women. I'm thinking, I don't freaking think so.
I agree.
I don't care what you are. No, and no again.
Yeah, I don't need some guy in the bathroom checking my junk.
Well, and then imagine you're taking your child in the bathroom with you, whether same sex, opposite sex, doesn't matter. I don't give a crap what. I don't think so. Again, I will frickin' deck someone if they even attempt to touch or look at my child like that.
So let's look at what the new law would say.
That is this is stupid.
Nothing in this chapter grants any right to a person to access a private facility segregated by gender, such as a bathroom, restroom, toilet, shower, locker room, or sauna of a public or private entity if the person is preoperative, non-operative, or otherwise has genitalia of a different gender from that which the facility is segregated.
Again, how do they think they're gonna follow through with that?
I don't know.
I mean,
this is a dead bill again. It's
of course it is, but it just irritates me.
Every single one of his bills is a dead bill.
And okay, besides the ridiculousness of this, set all the insanity aside for a second. Look at the whole picture of what he is proposing. Talk about non-inclusive, and I've lost all my nons now, but it's not inclusive. It's my way. I don't want you doing your ways. I don't want to include everyone. I want I want everyone to start wearing badges on their arms, so I can identify them.
Again,
and
we go back to Trump. Like I said, every conversation.
I know. I'm thinking the same thing in the back of my head. I'm like, God damn it, there's that Trump thing again. And I did it again.
I'm telling you, we're just gonna.
I think this one we're gonna have to.
I'm just gonna take off the explicit and
just
say,
for this
whatever.
one though. You have to do it just for this one.
No, we're just gonna go.
No,
full
I'll
explicit.
be better.
No, it's fine. We'll get more listeners. I guarantee it.
Just for this one should be fine.
No, I think we're just gonna lift the ban entirely.
But then again, if we keep talking about more Trump crap, I'll probably or stupid, initiatives like this, I'm probably not gonna get much better.
Well, whatever.
Fine. We already went really over anyway.
So I'll just mark it as explicit forever.
Well, I don't know about that, but we'll see.
Well, then we can say whatever we want.
That may be all right.
All right.
Because I have a mouth.
And since Carrie's not on the show, I think.
Well, that's kind of what I'm thinking too.
Anyway, we got off track there.
Yes, we did.
The Potter
Stop.
Award can turn us to vulgarity.
Yeah. Well, especially when it's just absurdness like that.
So, and this is one of those issues where I completely lose my shit every time.
See, I don't like when you cuss though. It's just weird for me.
I know it's weird.
I don't like that. You sorry, you can't. No.
Fine, you do
You
it.
don't do that ever, and it's just weird when you do. So no, you don't get to.
Fine.
It'll be explicit for me, but not for you.
Whatever. Anyway, as I was saying, this transgender issue is one where I completely flip.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is about
and
it.
it's not just the whole that it's transgender, which is just crazy in itself, but their proposal on how to dictate the bathroom usage.
Right.
I mean, by saying the whole I can't say the word now. Genitalia, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyways, so that right there is like, it's almost like, you're kidding, right? You're not really serious on how you want to go about doing this. It's like a joke, which, again, coming back to the Trump thing, you're stuck in a joke that you are waiting for the end of the joke to come to. That's what this whole thing seems like.
I know.
And I know I'm long, but on another side point, if you look at it, ever since Trump has been elected, not only are people behaving in ways that they just kept inside their head and now they're doing it outright, but this proposal backs that idea up as well.
Right.
You know, the whole, it's insane, but hey, you know, our president-elect, you know, says insane stuff too, so I'm right there too. And that's what this is.
And this leads me to another point, which I think we should make. If you don't follow your bills in your state legislature, you end up with crap like this.
Right, and that's the problem. People need to pay attention to elections that aren't just presidential, because it's the in-betweens that actually are going to make the biggest differences in your life on an everyday basis.
Yeah, because
they slip through.
Yeah, they slip through because nobody's paying attention.
Right.
Because Donald Trump's out there tweeting about the CIA being stupid, right? I don't even know how else to do it. And people are missing the fact that transgender bills are about to be passed in the most liberal state in the union.
Yeah, right?
Seriously.
I know. The whole thing is just insanely crazy.
So here's my suggestion to everyone. Go to your state legislator's website. They have a section for pre-filed bills. Almost every one of them does. And anything that is filed is public record.
And look
and see
what
if
they're
there's an
slipping
asshole
through.
like this out there.
Well, I was going to say, I guarantee you there are, and you just don't know
Every state has one. This just happens to be, my state has a bunch. Because almost all the pre-filed bills in Washington State are very similar to this. They're just outrageous.
Well, and with President-elect now and everyone coming out as just crazy and, acting out on all these thoughts they've always kept in their head, I guarantee you there's a lot more on that list than there ever used to be.
That, and if you look, if Donald Trump continues to be president, the SCOTUS is at risk, right? Laws like this would, if they were passed, would easily be struck down in a normal Supreme Court. We're not going to have a normal Supreme Court.
Right, because he's got the entire House. He's got the whole kit and caboodle lined up.
Right. So
he's basically playing chess pretty well right now.
These legislators know they got to get ahead of the Supreme Court, get the laws passed.
Right.
And then if they are challenged to the Supreme Court, which they will be, then they're going to be upheld because of Trump's Supreme Court.
Yeah, it's kind of going to be a freaky next 4 years. I'll have to say that.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Very, very interesting.
Maybe
and that
not in a good way.
is why State Representative David Taylor wins this very much deserved Potter Award.
Because he's loco.
We always like to hear your feedback, so leave us a voicemail at 704-802-YAK or an email at podcast@secularyakking.com.
More input.
All comments are welcome. We like to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly. You also can find us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Google+.
If you like our show, head over to your podcast directory of choice and leave us a 5-star review. If you really like the show, support the show on our Patreon page.
I'd buy that for $1.
And we'll be back next week with more yakking to please your eardrums.
Bye-bye, boys.
Have fun storming the castle.
Think it'll work?
It would take a miracle.
Bye-bye.